This is our third video in our intro to Final Cut Pro. Are you ready? Let's go. So in the first video we did importing media. In the second video we edited the video in the project. And now in this last one we're going to share it because that's just what we do. Sharing is good. What you need to do is go down into your timeline and you can either click here, and if you don't select anything, it usually just selects everything in the timeline. But if you actually happen to have a few stray clips, those might get shared as well. So if you want to make sure you're only sharing what you want to, you can select the portion of the timeline that you want to share. And by doing that, you can click I for an in point, that's I for in, and then O for out. And then you can adjust those handles. So in this case, I want to share the whole segment, or I could just share part of it. Okay, once I have the part of the timeline selected that I want to share, then I go up to File and Share. And in the case that we want to do here, we're going to do a master file. But if you had other uses, like if you wanted to export directly to Facebook where it creates the video and uploads it right away, or straight to YouTube or Vimeo, you could do it there. But we're going to master file and check our settings. When we go to settings, we want to make sure we're exporting both video and audio. And H.264 is the codec we want to use, compressor, decompressor. There are a bunch of different ones, but for our class we're using H.264. Resolution should be the same as what we've been editing, the video that we imported. All that's good. And then yeah, it's going to be a QuickTime movie, and we will share it with all the rest of these defaults are good. Down at the bottom, we can take a look at the size that it's going to be. Sometimes when we export for a certain organization, like a news station, they may want us to export in a certain aspect ratio at a certain frames per second. And sometimes the sampling frequency of our audio makes a difference. This is the duration in our SMPT, our SMPT code, QuickTime Movie. And here's file size. So sometimes it's interesting to take a look at how different, if we just did ProRes 422, it's a little bit smaller file size. If we went to uncompressed 10-bit, what would it be? Not even telling us. But this gives us a good estimate. Remember, this is going to be an 8-second video, and that's a pretty large file size. So video takes up a lot of space. So we hit Next, and we get to choose where we're going to save this. I often just keep it right in the same area where my library is. So we are working on the sunrise video and in my movies folder, so I'll just keep it right there. If this is a project, you might even want to put in your last name like that, so I will know who worked on it. Okay, I look up here at the little clock to see how fast it's going. This was a short video. Sometimes it can take 15-20 minutes depending on how long your video is. And then I had selected open it up in QuickTime, so it opened up in QuickTime for me and I could play this. It's always good to play just to make sure that it is what you want it to be, that you didn't get anything extra in there. So it looks like I'm missing a shot, so if this were the case, I'd go back and re-edit it, but this is good for now. Hitting Command Q to quit out of QuickTime. If I want to find that video so I can drag it onto a server, I would go to my Mac and go to Finder, Movies, Sunrise, and there is the MOV right there, the QuickTime movie that we just made. So then I could just drag that onto the server or save it onto a drive wherever it needs to go. So that's how you can use Final Cut Pro to edit like a pro. So let's go.